Wings of Tolerance, a group of middle school students from Stratham, New Hampshire, who, after studying the Holocaust, were so moved they wanted to do something to help us all continue to remember the victims of this tragic event, particularly the children.
So I'm Melissa Toby. I teach 7th grade at the Cooperative Middle School, and these are my some of my fantastic former students who make up the group Wings of Tolerance. So do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Matt, go ahead.
Oh, I'm Matt Ryan.
I'm Sean Sullivan.
I'm Emily McDonald.
I'm Ashley Ganley.
I'm Morgan Lee. And I'm Claire Hawkins.
Great, and there are a couple of other members who couldn't make it today, but they are definitely with us in spirit. So these are some of the kids who approached me after we finished studying the Holocaust in 7th grade, which is a joint unit between myself, English, and social studies, which we study for well over a month. And these kids decided that they wanted to do something more. They wanted to do something extra special to honor people who survived, and as well as people who perished during that time.
Well, we, a group from school, just like a small group, we wanted to, after learning about the Holocaust in school, we wanted to like kind of take it to the next level, and like while doing we want to do a butterfly garden and stuff like that, and we just want to represent like all the people who had like suffered and had tolerated the stuff like in the Holocaust.
When we started the Holocaust group, we all thought it was something more than just learning about it and stuff. So we all wanted to get together and do something more for what it means to us and stuff.
And like, I think it started out as like, what are we gonna put in the display in the hallway? And then we were gonna put like a little garden in the courtyard of the school. But I think bringing it to more of a community-based area was a pretty.
It kind of came to something much bigger than like we thought it was.
Yes. A lot of us went to Mr. Weishause's speech at the Dover Public Library. It wasn't like a required thing, but he didn't come to our pod. But most of us went to see him, and it was really like amazing.
And after he heard about us, he came to our group, and he told us a lot about the Holocaust.
And yeah, he kind of helped us. He helped us with a lot of our like stuff, and he came to some of our meetings and talked with us and like talked about like how we could help.
Wednesday, 2:30, 3 o'clock?
After hearing Tom Weishause's story, the group decided to write to him and ask him if he would be interested in working with them on their project. Dear Mr. Weishause, during our study of the Holocaust in 7th grade English and Social Studies at the Cooperative Middle School in Stratham, a group of us attended your talk at the Durham Public Library and found your story very moving. After our study in school was completed, several of us wanted to continue our learning and reflection of this time. We have decided to design and create a butterfly garden to memorialize the children who died and celebrate the children who survived. We named our group Wings of Tolerance as we hope to continue our project into next year and beyond, passing the torch to future 7th graders who will study the Holocaust at our school so that they can maintain the garden, add to it, and continue to educate others about the dangers of intolerance and hatred. We learned that butterflies are a symbol of peace and freedom, and so our garden idea and the name of our group come from that symbol. Hearing your story touched us deeply and will continue to affect us. It would mean so much to us to have your help and input for how to honor the children of this time in history. Thank you so much for telling your incredible story, giving us hope and inspiration, and for kindly considering helping our group.
Good.
When would you like a few remarks that I would make?
I was thinking probably at 5, like right before the groundbreaking would be perfect. Yeah,
Sure.
that'd be lovely. be lovely. I mean, I think people will kind of come and go. I don't foresee maybe tons of people necessarily staying the entire time. I think they'll kind of come in and out, and they'll want to talk with the kids. They'll want to talk with you too, I'm sure. All right, so the only thing we have left to do then is really plan the the handout that we want to give to people.
Hero, that kind and then anyone else in history. He saved more actual people.
It's amazing.
More thousands of people than he arrived in Hungary in July of 1944. By that time, Eichmann had carried 480,000 Jewish people from the small towns in the outlying districts. 480,000 in 2 months, in May and June. And in July, he arrived in Hungary to stop what he could, and that's when he began to save people. But he saved the 480,000. Turns out to be the most concentrated killing in the whole Holocaust. In 2 months, no other place did they kill that many people in 3 months. So this is the place where there were records being set. On the one side the Nazis, on the other side by Wallenberg.
Amazing. And so we've decided to plant here at Founders Park. And eventually we hope that the garden will not only be a beautiful memorial and testament, but that it will also be a teaching tool so that these kids can pass the torch on to future generations and can teach others in the community about what can happen when intolerance is tolerated rather than not. So we are thrilled to have you here. We are so grateful.
The idea to have a garden in the middle of this old city of Exeter that will have something to do with a story that took place so far away from here. That's only because they could write me a letter in which the phrase that I'm going to quote to you, when I read that letter, I couldn't put it down. They had the phrase in it, we want to make sure that the torch gets carried on. The torch. They had an idea that there was a torch that had to do with what happened to me and to all those millions, and that they wanted to fight do something about that. And they called it, what can I say? And people complain so much about children, about schools. We don't hear enough of this.
Courtney was so funny. She was typing up.
I caught up with members of Wings of Tolerance again in spring 2012, where the founding members and some new members were making plans for an upcoming bake sale, the planting of the garden, and the possibility of a new project as well.
Wow! I would just like to announce that I managed to keep that piece lily alive all year. Hi, thank you. Thank you. It did not die.
Oh, where?
It's a little rusty. Oh yeah, we need to take the plaque too.
What's the plaque to go on the brow?
What's going to be on the plaque?
That will be a short biography of Raoul Wallenberg.
I asked a few of the founding members what their thoughts were regarding the groundbreaking ceremony that had taken place in August.
Was enjoying themselves. There was little kids painting the butterfly houses.
Yes.
There was splattering paint everywhere, and then there was the music. And Mr. Weisshaus was showing photos of other groups doing other cool things. It was just a really great project.
Great.
I think the groundbreaking went really well, and as you guys said, I think everyone had a great time.
I wanted to meet the new members and find out why they joined the group.
Of the 8th graders, they came to our pod and they started talking about what the group was about and what they were doing, and how, since they were going to the high school next year, they wanted people to join. And I thought it would be really fun since Mrs. Toby, who was awesome.
Well, this is my first meeting, and Melissa and Natalie, they told me about it on Monday or Tuesday, and they persuaded me to join. And it sounds really awesome.
All right.
Basically, how I learned of it is, Miss Toby's an awesome teacher, so it obviously just made sense. And also Claire's told me about it, so.
She's very persuasive.
I'm Melissa, and right after I saw the paper clips film, I knew that I wanted to do something like this. And then when they came to our pod and then started to tell us about what Wings of Tolerance was and stuff, it really persuaded me to do it. And then I turned to my friend Tara, and then we both decided that we wanted to do it and stuff. And so right after we ran up to Mrs. Toby and said we wanted to do it.
Well, I kind of wanted to join because Melissa and I were talking about it, and after the paper clips film, we both wanted to participate in something that would help people remember the Holocaust, and pretty much the same reasons as everybody else.
While making plans for planting the garden, there were lots of ideas.
When we have our starting to plant thing, that might be a fun thing to invite the public to be a part of.
Right, we did, we did last, because I feel
To actually help us start planting.
Right.
No, we
Well, we haven't written to them yet.
We missed the rye grant, because that
Yes, we did. But that's okay. I bet they would at least give us a discount. And that's what this fundraiser's for, too, is to get some of that.
Opening ceremony last year. So if we did some of the basic reading, and then we could invite people to come.
We need to,
put
Just
the
section
plans
by
together.
section, we kind of do it.
I mean, whoever wanted to come could help plan, and then we could, I don't know, a plaque or a name or something, and them, that being their plant, they keep there, they can water it, you know what I mean? They can do
Okay.
I feel like there's.
And then what should we plant around that?
Yeah, that's.
For right now.
So what else?
I mean,
this is like a skywood music.
So
Where are we are we basing it out from?
That's
the tree?
Yeah.
No, that's
the
the
big.
tree. The stump is
Okay,
like
the stump.
Good.
The new members already had a new idea for a new project to help continue the mission of Wings of Tolerance.
You guys want to talk about that idea?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's okay. So that these kiddos can begin to talk about that.
So we talked about raising 1.5 million butterflies, and we would go to different schools in the SAU 16 area. But
Yeah, to start. And then we'd expand and do like all of New Hampshire, maybe like maybe surrounding states and stuff. And we also we didn't know what to do with like 1.5 million butterflies because that's like a lot. So they'd be like 3 by 3, and we'd hang them up like at like the library and stuff, like on the children's wall.
So are we having the kids making the butterflies?
Kids,
because I think that would be.
Try and focus on one thing at a time.
Fundraising is kind of broad for all our ideas. We need
Yes.
fundraising. So really, right now, I think it's between: are we going to go through with the garden, or are we going to go through with the butterflies?
And I think garden, personally.
Yeah.
And then, so what you and Mr. Fabro ask him to meet with at least some of us, maybe on an upcoming weekend, to point out where the actual garden will be. And then we talk to our family, and we start to talk to different gardening centers about what supplies we need. All right. So does that sound like we're under control as far as the bake sale, and then meeting next week, we know what our focus is?
Yeah. With dairy.
All the cookies and all.
They're gonna see bake sale.
Oh, cool. Wait, do we have to make more of those?
Yeah, probably a couple more.
Who has to make handbags?
Shall we do that and then go hang them around the...
Bake sale.
The energy level hasn't changed.
Right? Oh my god. Seriously, like herding cats. And Arjun. And there's Matt from last year. So we've got some new people joining us. It's awesome.
So what's going to happen today?
We're going to be planting. That's grass, darling.
I think that it was such a tragic time in history and so many people were lost, and I just think that it's really important that we remember who they were and that they didn't do anything wrong and they didn't deserve what they got. So I think that it's really important that we tell everybody about it and inform everybody what actually happened and just carry on what we're doing.
Down to that, I think it's also just to make sure that it never happens again. A lot of people are not aware of actually how devastating it was. And the more awareness we raise, the more people will actually think about what they're doing and how it will affect the world, even though it might not seem like it will. It shows that one person can make a huge difference in the world, for bad or good.
I think in the Holocaust, I think not as many people stood up against it, and then if more people knew about it, I think if something like that were to come up again, then people would be able to stop it because they've seen what had happened in the past, and they wouldn't want to repeat that.
It's remembering the past and kind of memorializing the people who lost their lives, but it's also about the future and how we can change what will happen.
I killed like 3 slugs.
This is where foil is rolling away here. So
Yeah.
make sure we keep the soil.
But we still have plenty left over from
How much did you guys make on your bake sales?
400 something, yeah.
Really? Wow.
And I had won a $100 gift card last year for
Oh yes. Yeah.
Well, we have to come in every now and then just to water so you don't get rain.
Yeah. So I'll expect you here every day. That's the other thing. We're going to need to come in at least I'll have to stop by once a week and fill up the puddlers too with fruit slices and with sugar water, but that's easy. And then to weed as needed. Oh, I love the puddlers. They look so happy. Can't believe we made those last summer.
I know. The butterfly. The last, the very last. So richly, brightly, dazzlingly yellow. Perhaps if the sun's tears would sing against a white stone. Such a yellow is carried lightly way up high. It went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. For 7 weeks I've lived in here, penned up inside this ghetto. But I have found what I love here. The dandelions call to me and the white chestnut branches in the court. Only I never saw another butterfly. That butterfly was the last one. Butterflies don't live here, in the ghetto. I hope that you will have a chance to stop by the Raoul Wallenberg Children's Butterfly Garden at Founders Park in Exeter, New Hampshire, right next to the library. And finally, at the Coastal Ridge Elementary School in York, Maine, I had the opportunity to meet and chat with some of the illustrators and the author of a recently published book called Freyja. The Center for Wildlife at Cape Nettic, Maine, offers a variety of programming designed to foster the natural connection between people and wildlife. The center's ambassador program, consisting of a team of 16 species of live, non-releasable wildlife ambassadors trained for presentation to audiences, presents over 175 programs throughout the ambassador program. Also now includes the publication of a series of books to help introduce the ambassadors at the center to the public. The first book in the series highlights Freyja, one of the center's beautiful falcons. This first book in the Ambassador series was created with some assistance from students at the Coastal Ridge Elementary School in York, Maine. I visited with some of those students to find out more about their interest in raising awareness about Freyja. I was also joined by Kristen Lamb, Director of Education and Outreach at the Center for Wildlife, along with Freyja herself.
Very chatty. And I doubt she's done talking, actually.
That's great. We'd love to have her input on all of this. So, Kristen, can you tell us a little bit about Freyja and about this project that you've been involved with all of these great kids?
Yeah, Freyja. Okay. Freyja is Freyja is a very chatty girl. She's a peregrine falcon. Peregrine falcons are actually endangered here in Maine and New Hampshire, and actually all of New England. And she came to us as a very young bird. She unfortunately was hit by a car one of her first flights out of the nest, and someone found her on the ground and knew that she needed help and brought her to Tufts Wildlife Clinic down in Grafton, Massachusetts. And they examined her and looked at her and knew that unfortunately her injury was going to be permanent. Peregrine falcons actually dive at 250 miles per hour to catch their own prey, and they need everything to be working in perfect order in order to catch their prey and to feed themselves. So unfortunately, her injury would not allow her to be able to do that, or to be able to fly all the way to South America, which is what peregrine falcons do in the wintertime. So they knew that she was non-releasable, and they called us to see if we wanted a peregrine falcon for an educational ambassador, because we do a lot of environmental education programs. So we said absolutely, and we started working with Freyja when she was a very young bird. She actually looked totally different. She was really dark brown, and those fine points on her chest were actually big young blotches. She looked kind of like a goofy young bird. We could tell that she was a baby. So we started working with her on the glove, got her comfortable being around us, and we built this beautiful outdoor enclosure for her with rock walls and slate to mimic the cliffs that she would live on in the wild. And she's actually lived with us for almost 7 years now, and she's a great ambassador. She's a great chance to teach kids about endangered species and peregrine falcons and DDT and how kids can be good stewards of their environment. And so one of our volunteers, who's actually here, Lauren, came up with this idea for an art contest. So we put together the story of Freyja's life, and we wanted to spotlight Freyja and talk about the different stages of a peregrine's life and how they're important to our ecosystems and how people can help peregrine falcons. And so we put together this art contest. We had 70 admissions from all of these guys and some of their other peers. And so that was kind of hard to pick out of 70 great drawings and illustrations to choose just 35 to tell the story of Freyja's life. It kind of took off. We talked about the art contest in the community, and Seacoast Water Garden Club, who's a great local organization, actually sponsored the publishing of the book. And so then we had a book, and we've actually sold, I think, at least 200 copies so far. Wow. It's on our website, and it's on Amazon, and people can buy it at the Center for Wildlife and at our events. And so these guys are pretty popular illustrators, and they have a big part in a book that's selling.
I asked the kids why they participated in the contest. Most of the responses focused on wanting to help raise money to support the care of the animals at the Center for Wildlife, as well as helping to raise awareness about how peregrine falcons are in danger. I also was curious about what had inspired each of these students to draw what he or she had for the book.
And I drew Freyja on top of a skyscraper, and I did that because I knew almost everyone was doing it when she got hit by the car.
I drew the one with the baby and the brother peregrine falcons with the big eyes, because I always wanted to do that, I guess.
Up high in the tree because I always imagine one in the tree when I think about it. I do a picture of a peregrine falcon just sitting on a branch, and I thought of that because I saw a picture and I wanted it to look more real. I drew Freyja on top of the skyscraper because I thought it would be fun to draw, and actually me and Zoe
Laura and I wanted to do something not violent and sad as when Freyja got hit by a car, so we did it when she was born with chicks in the nest.
So we did some research, and the baby probably now be on top of skyscrapers.
Excellent.
Like just top of the skyscraper.
We did half of it. I did the bird, and she did the nest and the chicks.
I did Freyja and her mom. Well, when Freyja was just born and her mom was going out to get her food. And the reason why I chose that because I thought it would be a good picture to show how and what they eat.
I did one about a peregrine falcon bringing food home for a baby peregrine chick, and I thought it was a good one to draw because I saw it one time on a show.
Because my teacher, she showed us online about what the pictures were and stuff, and I wanted to do Freyja flying, the peregrines that couldn't fly, Freyja, because that's what they do, they love to fly. And I drew a picture of Freyja looking down at the city in a tree.
All right. What inspired you to do that?
I saw a picture on the internet.
I drew what you shouldn't throw food out your window because karma hit it.
Yeah.
The peregrine falcon.
And I drew a picture of her on the apartment building where she used to live. I drew a picture of a car almost named Freyja. The reason why I drew it because it inspired me because I knew she got hit. I drew a picture of Freyja on the street, and I was trying to get her and try to bring her back to wildlife. And the reason why is because I thought if I did it, it would be one perfect life. you should do this if you find correct. I drew a picture of the Red Cross building spotting Freyja because they're just so caring for endangered species. So that's why I drew the Red Cross building spotted Freyja. Drew a picture of Freyja about to get hit by the car.
Oh, yes, because that's an important part of her story, isn't it? Yes.
Drew a picture of Freyja on top of a skyscraper. I did that because you can put a lot of detail into the skyscrapers in the city and make the birds stand out.
And even though mine didn't get in, I wanted to do a skyscraper one because when I went to New York, I saw many of them. So I made a smaller one and a New York one, and I put Freyja and Freyja's mother on it and with eggs in her nest.
And I drew a picture of Freyja getting hit by a car because people throwing food out the window going to get the food.
Such a talented and creative group of kids. Do pick up their book, Freyja, when you get the opportunity. Thank you so much to all of the groups that we visited with today and for reminding us how important it is to take a stand. And thank you for tuning in to Open Here. I'll see you next time.